Tonight on BBC London. After 2 water mains burst, 10,000 homes in East London and Essex are still without water. It's a 4th day of disruption for some. Also tonight, the mother of DeJohn Campbell tells us of her shock that one of her son's killers may soon walk free under the plans for early prisoner release.
The victims and their family is an afterthought. No one considered the impact this would have on me.
With the issue of water safety prominent in this summer of heat waves, there's concern as fresh data reveals that London has the worst levels of swimming proficiency among primary school children in England.
Stay seated! Stay seated, sir!
And what happened next after this flight attendant from London stepped in to deal with a passenger? Good evening and welcome. I'm Alice Bandukravi. 10,000 households across 14 postcodes in East London and Essex face continuing water disruption tonight, leaving customers with little or no running water for a 4th day in some places. The disruption started when 2 water mains burst this weekend, with subsequent pipe damage in other nearby areas, according to Thames Water. Temporary bottled water distribution points have been set up until 9 p.m. Thames Water has apologised and says they are working to fix the issues. Our environment correspondent Tom Edwards has the latest from Chigwell.
Abdul Jamil travelled 2 miles in his wheelchair to get water. He's on the priority list, so Thames Water said they would deliver it, but no one turned up.
And nobody came. I called them yesterday. They said they will deliver some water. Nobody came. My carer went to the Tesco, there was no water. And the council, nobody came. It's very, very disappointed.
This distribution centre at Fairlock Waters was trying to cope with demand for bottled water. It was causing gridlock, with even Thames Water workers getting stuck. Customers were getting very frustrated.
A nightmare. Yesterday in the evening to go toilet was like, imagine, dropping water bottles. The rest we have at home. It's not enough. Maybe later I come back.
Really?
Maybe, yeah, because I have kids at home, How I'm going to survive, I'm going to cook today or take a shower.
And you're walking? You have to walk?
Yeah, I don't have a car.
The shops have got no drinking water. So what we're doing is filling up the boot and taking it around to all the old people. You can see it on Facebook, we've been delivering it to the vulnerable.
What do you make of the whole situation?
Well, I think Thames Water are rubbish because my husband's on chemo and we're both pensioners, supposed to be priority. We asked for priority last night and they said they couldn't do anything till 6 o'clock in the morning. They would drop us some water off and they still haven't.
A number of burst water mains cause the problems. Droughts and heat waves can dry out London's clay and cause pipes to break. Campaigners say Thames Water has failed to invest in its network. It says it's spending a record £20 billion to improve its infrastructure. Some businesses, like this pub, had to shut. Thames Water says this incident is affecting 10,000 homes over 14 postcodes, and it says the fix to the burst water mains is taking much longer than initially thought. Residents have been told their water should be back on tonight or tomorrow. The drought, though, is increasing the focus on the capital's water companies and their record. Tom Edwards, BBC London.
A 25-year-old man's been shot dead outside a pub in Clapham. Scotland Yard said he died at the scene in Willington Road just after 10 last night. Shortly afterwards, a 22-year-old man went to hospital with a gunshot wound. He's been arrested on suspicion of murder. The Prime Minister has ordered his Justice Secretary to find a way to keep 2 of the killers of PC Andrew Harper behind bars for longer. However, they are not the only prisoners who could soon be eligible for early release under the government plans, designed to free up much-needed space in prisons. The mother of 15-year-old Dejon Campbell, killed in Woolwich in 2024, has been told one of the men convicted of his killing is also being considered for early release. Jodie Ann Taylor has been speaking with our correspondent Aisha Baksh.
Dejon Campbell was a 15-year-old boy who was stabbed to death in Woolwich, southeast London, 2 years ago.
He was calm, he was loving, he was caring, he was thoughtful. And he had qualities that I didn't even possess. He was athletic, he was ambitious, he was just incredible.
18-year-old Imre Douay was jailed for life for his murder, while 19-year-old Marco Balaz was convicted of manslaughter and sentenced to 11 years behind bars. Now, under new proposals, Balaz may be released early from prison. Dejon's mum was informed of the prospect via an email from the probation service.
And it reads, "Dear Miss Taylor, information about Sentencing Act changes. I am writing to let you know about that will affect when some prisoners are released. This will relate to Marco Balaz's sentence. These changes have been introduced following an independent review with the aim of improving the effectiveness of sentencing and better managing offenders in the community." He was already an offender in the community prior to taking my son's life. The moment you rob someone else or assisted in robbing someone of their life, overcrowding should be the least of your problem.
Dejon had been groomed by a criminal gang. His mum had tried to get help from her son's school, local social services and the police. Just last month, a safeguarding review confirmed there had been multi-agency failings. And this latest development now from the justice system, she says, has compounded her grief and lack of faith in the authorities.
No length of sentence can ease the pain that they've caused.
And now knowing that one of them may have a sentence potentially reduced.
Yeah. It was a further slap in the face getting that email in June, because I feel as though the systems that are in place to protect us cause more harm than good. I don't understand what message you're trying to give a perpetrator like this in terms of consequences for their actions, but this isn't it.
Jodie Ann Taylor there speaking to Aisha Baksh. Lots more to come this evening, including living with Tourette. We hear one woman's story and why she's decided to talk about it.
It's being called the eclipse of the century, a once-in-a-lifetime chance to see the sun obscured by the moon, not completely, but 91% of it. And where better to find out more than here at the Royal Observatory in Greenwich.
Now, it's been a remarkable summer of above average temperatures, with many of us cooling off in the lidos and swimming pools where possible. Today, the Met Office has issued a rare amber warning for extreme heat, including in the southeast and London on Thursday, where temperatures could peak at 38 degrees. But new research by the BBC has revealed that children in London swim less proficiently than in other parts of the country when they leave state primary schools. Well, let's get more on this from Chris Slegg, who is at the Ironmonger Row Baths in Islington for us this evening. Chris.
Yeah, Alice, the issue of water safety perhaps never more pertinent than it has been in this summer of heat wave after heat wave, which sadly we have seen lead across the country to dozens now of fatalities in open water. So concerned today to see this data obtained after a BBC Freedom of Information request, which shows London right at the bottom when it comes to levels of childhood proficiency in swimming. And with more now on what this data reveals, here's Matt Gravely.
For 32 years, our state schools have been legally required to teach water safety. But many pupils are leaving Year 6 without the basics. For parents, costly classes often the last resort.
When it was just me and my daughter, it was affordable, just. But with people that have more than one child, it can get costly. If I was to pay for 3 children £45 a month, that sets me over £100 a month.
However, today's session is free, and for Gloria's twins, like for many others here, it's their first ever lesson.
Here we go! We learned floating on our back and then kicking so that we can go backwards.
According to the national curriculum, by the end of Year 6, a child should have a minimum level of water competence, which includes swimming a length of a standard pool.
The length of this pool is 25 metres, and the BBC survey found that on average in England, 72% of Year 6 children could swim this distance. But when you break it down by region, here in London, it was 63%, and that was the lowest for any region.
Louise works for London's Aquatic Centre. Her company provided the space and equipment for 2 weeks of free lessons. They also work with London schools.
Just trying to encourage them to come more often, because a lot of them will come for a 12-week block, but if you're trying to get a beginner to swim 25 metres in 12 weeks, it's not enough. So it's educating the schools to say, look, you need to do at least the whole year, for a whole year group, coming every week and really repeating those skills.
The BBC study used a Freedom of Information request to the Department for Education, receiving data for around 16,000 state schools across England. And when you dive deeper into the numbers, it saw swimming ability dropped further for the most deprived pupils. Within London's boroughs, schools in Bromley, Richmond upon Thames and Kensington and Chelsea had the highest percentage of children who could swim 25 metres, while those in Redbridge, Tower Hamlets and Newham had the lowest, with less than half of all Year 6 pupils able to achieve the distance. Here in Newham, they're trying to buck the trend. 17-year-old Jeremiah, the force behind this fortnight of free classes. After pitching his idea to his swimming club, details for parents were sent via every primary school in the borough.
I only imagined probably helping 100 each week, but we had over 750 sign-ups for the 2 weeks, which is absolutely amazing, and it just shows that we need more of this.
You have some section of the community that don't believe swimming is for them. So again, you have to work towards breaking down that barrier, because it's not just an issue of affordability, it's also a lack of information, because they've always believed, probably the ethnic minority side, that swimming is not for them.
The Department for Education said our new PE Partnerships Network will bring together schools, local clubs and national governing bodies. This means targeted support for the areas and pupils who need it most.
See, Newham, we're great, but we are one of the poorest boroughs, and swimming lessons aren't cheap. Even though we had the Olympics here, the swimming's still not out there as much. But the fact that they're doing this, I think, will help a lot of parents.
Matt Graveling, BBC London.
Yeah, so we have spoken to the 3 boroughs with the worst levels of swimming proficiency in the last 24 hours. All of them tell us they are trying to tackle this issue. Redbridge say they delivered an extra 33,000 swim lessons through their Swim Vision programme last year. Newham say that under 16s can swim for free at certain times at all 3 of the council-run pools in their borough. And earlier today I was in Tower Hamlets. Part of their programme is to try and boost swimming among adults to help children. Here's what Councillor Minara Khartoon told me.
I think providing the free swim lessons or having swimming classes in the leisure centres is a positive, because if parents are coming, adults are joining the classes, then automatically they would want their children to participate. And also it's an amazing life skill. We can save ourselves and save others as well in the process.
How much of a priority is this for the council?
For the council, it is high on our agenda. It is high part of our manifesto, and we are rolling out and investing in our leisure centres, and we will continue to invest in our services with regards to swim and swim safety.
We put the figures to City Hall as well. A spokesperson for the Mayor said they are concerning. They pointed out they're offering swim safety sessions through their Clean Rivers and Healthy Waterways plan. And as we heard in Matt's reports, the Department for Education hopes to target funding to the areas that need it most with the PE Partnerships Network from January. That, it would seem, would include large chunks of London. Alice.
OK, thanks very much for that. Chris Legg there. Let's take a look at some of the other news making the headlines today. A major fire at a warehouse in Hertfordshire forced the closure of the M25 in both directions between St Albans and Bricketwood Junction. Authorities closed the road due to the risk of a secondary explosion before reopening it this lunchtime. And from today, live facial recognition cameras will be used at some of London's tube stations. TfL says the move would help identify people on a police watch list to help catch offenders. But private campaign group Big Brother Watch says it would treat every passenger like they are a suspect. New vape shops will require planning permission and councils will get more powers to block new gambling shops under government plans aimed at improving our high streets. It follows a campaign from several councils, including Brent, Lewisham and Newham. Well, our Work and Money correspondent Megan Owen has been looking at this. Tell us more about the changes, Megan.
Well, our high streets could be about to look very different. Under the new changes, new shops selling e-cigarettes or vapes will require planning permission. So too will gambling shops offering 24-hour gaming machines. And crucially, a rule called Aim to Permit is being scrapped. That had been making it hard for councils to refuse new betting shops and slot machine arcades. And that will be welcome to several London councils who've been campaigning to change this for quite some time. Among them is Brent, which has over 80 gambling venues in its borough. There's actually 10 within a 10-minute walk on one street. They say that these have led to antisocial behaviour and are damaging the health of their communities. Those claims are rejected by the gambling industry. They say that they create thousands of local jobs, bring valuable footfall and are heavily regulated. The Prime Minister says that many high streets have become unrecognisable to those who grew up on them, and he wants councils to have more power to change that.
OK, well, certainly a big change. Thanks very much for that, Megan Owen. A university lecturer from Loughton who previously hid her Tourette's syndrome has spoken about the condition openly to her students for the first time. Dr. Amanda Cole was diagnosed in her 20s but kept the condition hidden at her job at Cambridge University. But following an incident at this year's BAFTA Film Awards in which a guest shouted out offensive words because of his tics, Dr. Cole said she wanted to be open about her condition. She's been speaking to Lawrence Cowley.
Releasing tics is something Amanda Cole does in private. This is what it looks and sounds like.
Ed. Rowan. Lenny.
With husband Ed, Amanda tics freely. Rowan is her son, Lenny, the cat. Her vocal tics are usually names or greetings.
I feel like I've got this person living inside my body that wants to say things and move in ways that I don't.
She's one of 300,000 people in the UK with Tourette's. Symptoms emerged aged 15.
I think it was like an RE lesson, and I remember sitting there and thinking, like, what's happening here? But you think, oh, it's just like one of these weird things that, you know, is going to be gone by tomorrow. And it didn't. And then I had it sort of intermittently, this sort of almost movement that I was doing in the back of my throat. And then I saw a neurologist. And that was the first time anyone mentioned tics to me.
Were you able to tell friends?
No, I didn't tell anyone. And I thought it was going to destroy my life.
Now 32, she's Dr. Cole, a linguistics lecturer at Cambridge. She suppresses the tics and has kept her Tourette's secret until now.
Thanks for being here today. Lovely to see you all, as ever. The only impression I had of Tourette's was people acting Tourette's, and they were swearing and they were shouting and they were being obnoxious, and they were always a point of ridicule. They were always something there to be laughed at, and that was the only reference point I had of Tourette's, and it made me think, well, this is what I'm going to be. I'm going to be a laughing stock. I'm not going to be able to integrate into society. People don't want me around.
If somebody was able to give you a magic pill that took away your Tourette's, would you take that pill?
No. My brain is wired the way my brain is wired, and I like being me, as I think we all should.
The family home in Colchester is full of her art. When Amanda paints, the tics stop.
Painting is just one of my big passions. I couldn't do the art, I couldn't do that creativity if it wasn't kind of for the passion, the drive, the energy, because Tourette's is energy, the energy that I get through the Tourette's and the focus that I get.
Amanda's opened up about her experiences following an incident at this year's BAFTAs, in which a guest shouted out offensive words because of his tics.
It showed to me that there's just this really fundamental misunderstanding of Tourette's. What we just really need as society is an understanding of Tourette's, an understanding of tics, and to know that our tics aren't what we really think.
Dr. Amanda Cole sharing her story there with Lawrence Corley. Now get ready, because tomorrow evening London is set for a spectacular solar eclipse. The moon will pass directly between the sun and the earth between 6:15 and 8 p.m, meaning the sun will be blocked out almost completely for a short time, as Anna O'Neill now explains.
It's being called the eclipse of the century, a once-in-a-lifetime chance to see the sun obscured by the moon, not completely, but 91% of it. And where better to find out more than here at the Royal Observatory in Greenwich. Thousands of visitors are expected as the observatory stays open later in the evening to catch the eclipse as it happens.
It starts at around 6 o'clock and it would be finished by 8:15, but the peak of it, so where the moon is like covering as much of the sun as possible, that will be at 7:15 in the evening.
Partial eclipses, where the moon blocks the Earth's view of the sun, happen fairly regularly, but the last time one of this totality happened was August 1999. The eclipse shouldn't be viewed with the naked eye or even with sunglasses, but there are safe ways to see it, including with this sun spotter.
So you're looking at the light that comes from it. So it's projected onto a piece of paper inside, and you can see everything that's going on without damaging your eyes, which is a big bonus.
But if you haven't got a sun spotter lying around at home, there are other ways to see it safely and creatively.
You can use a colander from your kitchen.
And what would you do? How would you use the colander?
Sounds bonkers, but I promise it works. And it actually is my favourite way of looking at it because it looks so beautiful. So you hold the colander in front of you and you angle it down at the floor onto, I would say, onto a piece of paper because it's nice and easy to see. And what you'll see is lots and lots and lots of white circles of light. And as the eclipse begins, you'll see the little chunks have been taken out of those little dots of light.
To safely look at the sun, one of the ways you can do so is by wearing eclipse glasses. So if I've got some here, the sun is behind, in front of me there and behind you, cameraman Dave. I can see nothing with the eclipse glasses except the sun in the sky now. There's just a sort of yellow circle in my vision. And hopefully you'll be able to see the eclipse through those glasses, but I hear that if you have got some old eclipse glasses, you probably shouldn't use them. Is that right, Hannah?
That is correct. So anybody who has old eclipse glasses, we're telling them to check to see if they are still in date. They do run out. It does sort of diminish the protection that is on there. If people can't get their hands on eclipse glasses, there's no need to worry because for the entire eclipse we will be live streaming it on our YouTube channel, which is Royal Observatory Greenwich, so people can hop on and join us in watching along online.
With the next eclipse of this totality not till 2090, it'll be the last chance for many of us to catch this once-in-a-lifetime celestial event. Anna O'Neill, BBC London.
A flight attendant from London has gone viral after she stepped in to deal with an incident involving a passenger shortly before takeoff. Unbeknownst to her, she was being filmed, and the audio was then used by a drum and bass artist travelling on that flight. Well, we tracked down DJ and producer Boo, who explained all.
I've sat down on my seat and all I can hear is just a load of noise and kicking off. And the plane was just sat there for about 2 hours not moving. Just because of this one guy at the back who was just making a load of noise.
Stay seated! Stay seated, sir!
Our hostess is like trying to calm him down, saying, telling him to repeatedly stay seated.
Stay seated,
My tour manager's filmed the moment and he sent it to me over on WhatsApp, and then I've just gone on my computer straight away and like started making a track out of the sample.
Stay seated!
put it on my story, and then just like started going crazy viral. And then, yeah, like the air hostess came over and like actually took a picture with me and stuff. And she was like, it was quite surprising because she was into drum and bass as well. I said to her, like, you should come to my show in Vegas tonight, you know, just to cheer her up a little bit, and we'll play the tune and get a video. So I reckon we'll sell the track, and we'll just give all the money to her, and she can get a nice holiday out of it because she deserves something nice.
Stay seated.
DJ Amin Boo speaking there. Okay, it's time for a look at the weather with Kate Kinsella, who's here. And dare I say, we're getting used to this heat, Kate.
Well, it's going to get hotter this week. These umbrellas not coming into any use whatsoever because there is no rain still in the forecast. It remains dry for this week. And like I say, the temperatures are rising. This was earlier, blue sky, sunshine. I think temperatures are just shy of 30 degrees. Overnight tonight, it's clear, it's dry still. The minimum temperature just about comfortable, but those temperatures rise tomorrow, the next day, but also nighttime temperatures too. Tonight, 12 to 16 Celsius. Bright start to Wednesday, plenty of sunshine. What's happening is the high pressure bringing these conditions is slowly drifting east, and as it does, it's bringing in hotter air from the continent. So we'll start to notice this more tomorrow, where temperatures are getting widely into the low 30s. Could even see 33 tomorrow. And as we head into tomorrow evening, of course, we were just hearing from Anna O'Neill, the eclipse happens. Now, the weather conditions are near on perfect. Of course, you need the glasses or your pinhole camera, but we have clear skies. But it doesn't stop there tomorrow. Once the sun sets, we hang on to the clear skies because the Perseid meteor shower continues, and tomorrow that actually reaches its peak. So if you're up post midnight into the early hours of the morning, you may just see some shooting stars. Now this is what the weather looks like on the map tomorrow night. You can see there's really no cloud, so perfect conditions for looking at the sky. Temperatures though pretty warm too, 16 to 18 Celsius. Now Thursday, that's when we're likely to reach the peak in temperatures across London. We have a lot of sunshine, and this area here is where the Met Office has issued an amber extreme heat warning. You can see those temperatures getting up into the mid 30s, 35, 36 Celsius. It is still going to be hot everywhere else, but that's where we'll see the biggest impact. Now, as we head overnight Thursday into Friday, temperatures for central London potentially not dropping much below 20, which could possibly make it a tropical night, but then temperatures just start to cool off. Still warm though, even into the weekends. Alice.
Kate, thank you.